I've spoken to Republican officials across the country. They have come up with zero evidence of widespread fraud.
And that is not true. That is absolutely not true. People have signed legal documents, affidavits stating that they saw illegal activities. And that is why we need to have this conversation in court. The New York Times itself said that there were clerical errors.
If you look at what happened in Michigan, fraud, Governor, that's
that
very
we had
different.
Computer glitches that changed Republican votes to Democrat votes. You look in Pennsylvania, dead people voted in Pennsylvania. So, George, I don't know how widespread it is. I don't know if it'll change the outcome of the election. But why is everybody so scared just to have a fair election and find out? We gave Al Gore 37 days to run the process before we decided who was going to be president. Why would we not afford the 70.6 million Americans that voted for President Trump the same consideration? If Joe Biden really wants to unify this country, he would wait and make sure that we can prove we had a fair election.
She lays it out nicely, doesn't she? That was South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, someone I like more and more every time I hear her speak. If Biden and the Dems wanted unity, they would support looking into the reports of voter fraud. And the fact that they don't want to speaks volumes. Their defense is that there is no evidence of widespread voter fraud, not enough to overturn the election, so why look into it, they say. But if they really thought there wasn't enough voter fraud to change any outcomes of this election, they would support looking into it. That would be an easy way for them to claim that they want to be transparent and that they care about fairness and want the country to unify. I mean, what could bring us together more than Trump explaining that he lost fair and square and then thanks Joe Biden for supporting the investigations and lawsuits? How honest would Democrats look if a few of their operatives were caught cheating and they threw the book at them? But they're not going to do it. They don't want to be transparent because they're afraid they'll lose too many votes. And we know they don't want to unify the country because they do everything they can to divide us. They call millions of us deplorable. They say the person we voted for is a Hitler wannabe. They say our policies are designed to hurt the poor and to let people die. They say we hate women. They don't want to unify with us. They want us to shut up and go away. You see, they will never come together with our side because their political game plan is about demonizing us. That's their go-to strategy. They won't simply disagree with our ideas. They have to say they come from an evil place. And we all know why. It's because they can't successfully defend most of their policies. Here's a quick example.
When the tax was increased to 28%, the revenues went down. So why raise it at all? Especially given the fact that 100 million people in this country own stock and would be affected.
Well, Charlie, what I've said is that I would look at raising the capital gains tax for purposes of fairness.
Obama raised the capital gains tax rate because he said it was fair to do so. Even though it didn't bring in more revenue overall, it didn't matter. It was fair, you see. And if you disagreed with it, you were greedy and you hated the poor. But Democrats will never actually take on the argument. The reason revenue didn't increase is because when the government takes less money from the people who invest their money, those people invest more money. And that generates other avenues of revenue for the government. But because that revenue doesn't come directly from the rich, it's unfair. And if you don't go along, you're a bad person. Look, the idea that Democrats want to unify the country is a joke. They actually have an opportunity right now to take a step in that direction, but they won't take it. And they won't take it because not only did their side accuse Trump of cheating in the last election, and how would it look if their side got caught cheating in this election, they're afraid of what's going to happen if there are investigations and litigation. They're this close to winning the presidency and possibly taking the Senate. So they're not going to do anything to stop that from happening. It doesn't matter how many people swear to affidavits. It doesn't matter how many videos come out of Republican poll watchers being denied access to polling places. Democrats are not going to support any investigation into this election. This whole thing kind of reminds me of the Me Too movement. Democrats accuse Trump of all these things, and then before you know it, liberals like Charlie Rose and Matt Lauer were canceled. In 2016, they accused Trump of cheating in the election, and now Democrats are doing everything they can to stop any investigation into voter fraud, and it's because it's likely to turn out just like the Me Too movement did. Democrats getting caught red-handed while Trump goes untouched. In 2016, there were riots from day one of Trump's presidency. This year, businesses all over America boarded up their windows in anticipation of Biden supporters rioting if Trump won again. Now, Democrats are demonizing Trump for legally challenging the election? Doesn't that perfectly describe the difference between the two sides? Their side would have rioted if they lost. Our side sees reasons to legally challenge the vote count, and they demonize us. And the sad part is that they see it too. That's why they always say that there's no evidence of widespread voter fraud. They're conceding that there is some voter fraud and that it's on their side. And because they know their side will get caught if we investigate, they're going to continue pretending that there's nothing to see here. Move along, please. The single biggest step toward unity would be Democrats supporting investigations into this election. But they don't care about unity. They only care about power. And that's the simple truth. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and if you want to become a supporting member of Blue Collar Logic, click on the link in the description and give what you can.